Dear friends, brothers and sisters, I am very happy to attend this program organized by Bharat Niti and other co-organizers on a very important subject, important and crucial and critical in coming, I can call a decade. There are various forces now trying to shape the ideas which influenced the post Second World War global order today is no more relevant. Many of its pillars are crumbling. So, in such a situation, a kind of invitation is there because people are feeling and forces are feeling there is a vacuum. So, in this, a community which inherits, what we call Hindu means it is Adi, Ananta, or Avinashi, or Mrutyunjay. This is the only community, this is the only civilization in the whole world which can rightfully claim all these titles. No other civilization is there for the last 5,000, 6,000, 7,000 recorded history. This kind of continuity no other civilization has got. Many had flourished and many had contributed to shape the world order, but they do not remain today as a lamppost for us. So, in such a situation, we have this very important civilization which we are representing. Sometimes, because of its ancient and this 5,000 years history, it has got a lot of complexity. Straightly defining in a very straight way or in linear way, it becomes difficult. Any concept which has taken birth in the last 50 years or 70 years or 100 years or 200 years, for them it is very easy to define in such a way. But for us to define in such a way, it is very difficult, because to respond adequately, effectively to the challenges of those times, it has created its own pathway. So that is the reason Hindu is known as culture, Hindu is known as religion, Hindu is known as a spirituality, Hindu is known as a tradition, and Hindu it is known as a geography, territory. Hindu, it is known as nation. You will not have a single civilization representing all this. And there are sections in this civilization which feel even today rightfully these identities are true and correct and completely correct. So, many people who are having the analytics or tools through which they have analyzed different histories and different civilizations, they are confused. They cannot decipher the Hindu by using these simplistic tools. So they come in a wrong way. So in such a situation, we need campaigners, we need advocates, we need the people who understand the Hindu concept, Hindu spirit, and Hindu philosophy, Hindu life, Hindu history, Hindu life, society's ups and downs, all these things, to represent it correctly. And where we can represent, then ultimately the idea zone, the war zone is the digital war zone. So there the war is taking place. So we need to create such people with right understanding and right information. This is a very important thing. Otherwise, the problem is, as I said, there are forces which want to shape the world and structure the world in, according to their worldview and perspective. In such a situation, even among our own society, there are people who are ready to use such tools and interpret the Hindu spirit, which becomes incomplete, which becomes incorrect. So we have to create such people to provide this kind of substance, content and information. The second important point there are people again in the digital world, because it is a evolving, it is a dynamic situation. We are responding to different challenges. So in such a situation,
there is an attempt to create conflict between Hindu and Constitution, Indian Constitution. I am not talking about the Constitution which is dynamic, which is evolving and which is changing year to year depending on the challenges. It is bound to change. There is a part within the Constitution which is bound to change according to the situation. If it is not going to change, then we cannot be a dynamic situation. We cannot continue as a Mrityunjay community. So in such a situation, but within the Constitution, there is a basic structure, basic spirit or framework and which represents the eternal character. There is no conflict between Hindu spirit, Hindu worldview, Hindu thinking and the basic substance and basic structure of the Constitution. If we take basic structure of the Constitution as equality, everybody is equal, then in this entire world, if there is one thought which takes everybody as equal and which can claim it has practiced that, that is the Hindu thought and Hindu spirit. So, this has to be effectively answered. There cannot be a conflict between Indian Constitution which advocates equality, which advocates secularism, can have a conflict with the Hindu thought. So this is a very important thing. So this again, in a different context, this is getting questioned, so we have to. Another important thing which we have to challenge at the global level, and this is being challenged. It is not I am saying today we have to start. Conversion is a violence. Conversion is definitely against Indian Constitution and constitutional principles. It does not mean that it does not provide a chance to a person to change his religion or change his worship method. No, we are not discussing about that. That has been there in the society for the thousands of years. You see, in Andhra and Telangana, where I come from, lot of Buddhist sites are there. Buddhist population was there. Buddhism was dominating. Where is Buddhism today? I have worked in Jammu Kashmir for a long time. There was a long tradition of Shaivism. Where is Shaivism today? These worship methods have changed. Religion is changed. Even within the broad religion subsects have been changed. Even in Karnataka, we are here, Lingayats are today. Where was there? Where it was 2000, 3000 years back. So we have to understand there are changes in modes of worship. That flexibility is there, and we do not talk about that conversion, that change, but the conversion which we are talking, which is inflicting a violence on the Indian culture, Indian tradition and Indian societal values. That will be challenged and that has to be challenged, and Constitution does not promote this kind of conversion. So there is no conflict. This is a very important thing which I would like to. Now, I am raising few important points. Now, in this country, in the last 70 years, the problem in the polity is few organizations, whether it is Congress or Congress-minded, or leftists or leftist-minded, they have always, in the name of secularism, they have never accepted the Indian spirit of secularism. India was never against secularism. And secularism can never be an imported concept to India. I went to South Korea, I went to Germany, I went to Norway, wherever I went, when I say, Guruji is well versed with all these things. He interacted with all different sections. When I say, all religions are same, for me it is very natural. In India, wherever you go, all religions are same, nobody will contest. Nobody will feel it is wrong. Nobody is, you are out of place. But when I go to the other countries, I say, all religions are same. You know, they are not able to accept and understand all religions, how they can be same. If all religions represent the truth, then where it is? So their comprehension cannot come nearer to the Hindu thought's comprehension. It is impossible. So we have to understand when we say secularism in India, it is different. Secularism in Germany, it is different. Secularism in England, it is different. Secularism in Korea, it is different. It is very natural in India when I say secularism, it is acceptable not as an imported concept, as a compulsive concept, but as a natural growth. So this issue has to be highlighted, which is going to provide a role model for the global affairs. Indian view of secularism is going to be the model. Is going to be the example for the whole world. It is not that the others who have given us secularism. So the problem here is, but at the same time when I say secularism, definitely there are conflicts which have taken place. For example, two important conflicts. There can be hundreds of conflicts we can. Secularism cannot be insensitive to the conflict which has taken place against Sikhs in 1984. Secularism cannot be insensitive against the violence inflicted on the Kashmiri Pandits and forced them to flee from Kashmir Valley. If the land belongs to Kashmiris, then who is the rightful claimant in the Kashmir for the land? How can you eject the Kashmiri Pandits and discuss about the Kashmiri identity? So these are the issues which are going to pose a challenge to the definition of secularism. What brand of secularism this Indian polity is going to carry forward. So these are the issues which definitely are the challenges which we as a nation has to see. There is no conflict between Supreme Court and Hindu thought process. Supreme Court has accepted what Hindu culture and what Hindu society or Hindu civilization represents. So there is no conflict. The conflict is between vested interests or the world-minded political establishments and the philosophies which have been imported or the frameworks which have come from the outside. There is no otherwise conflict. So this is which we have to. Now, very important point. The challenge which we have to discuss. Hindu versus democracy. There is no conflicting point between democracy and Hindu. Because we, very natural way, accept all are equal. In our spiritual philosophy, we don't discriminate. So when we accept everybody as equal, then for us, religion is not important and religion does not become a discriminating factor as a society and as a nation for us. So there may be distorted practices. There may be subversions. Ultimately, which religion does not have, which nation does not have, which society does not have. So today's dynamic things, if properly not attended, after 100 years, it becomes subversions, it becomes distortions, it becomes stagnations, status quo. So we have to always, that is the Purushartha, that is the the test for the sadhaks, that is the test for the Gurujis. So how they are going to change those things. So this is the, and in this context, definitely again the CAB has become an issue of discussion. This Citizenship Amendment Bill. Sir, I want to say, don't convert these kind of issues, prism of religion. This is not a comprehensive bill, first of all, I would like to say. This is not a comprehensive bill. This is a bill which is aimed at rectifying few things in a certain year frame. This is not a comprehensive bill for ever to come. And it is not, does not mean that after 20 years or 30 years, this society and lawmakers are now bound by only this and they cannot change and they cannot address to the other challenge. If something happens in the neighboring country, in Sri Lanka or some other country, this country is not going to respond and not going to change is not the view. So these are the issues which we are effectively responding to, and this society is but there is another important point, Hindu as a society, Hindu as a community, which we have to participate in the debate. The society, it has dominated the whole world not for 100 years. America is dominating the world after Second World War. Now it is a rich country and a militarily superpower and everybody is accepting, but this is how many years? After, the 70 years. This story of America is the story of 70 years. The story of India and Indian supremacy at the global level is a story of 2,000 years uninterrupted glory. Uninterrupted glory. No country has been able to dominate the whole world in trade, in knowledge, in science, in technology, in culture, in design, in creativity. You take one subject and see that India is not there. It is not possible. So that kind of glorious society which has been there for 1,200 years continuously, you tell me that society does not have anything to contribute to the future? How it is possible? So now I am not talking about the past, I am talking about the future. Sir, India has the immense capacity to contribute in every aspect of the global affairs. Now yoga has the very important thing. How to de-stress the whole world, how to relax the whole world and create peace by making the mind peaceful. Ultimately, world war is there outside when you have war inside. If you do not remove the war inside, you cannot remove the war outside. So that is the reason Sri Guruji has been now, taken up the knowledge in a new form. Whether it is Sudarshan Kriya, whether it is breathing exercises, ultimately the war is not outside, the war is inside. So you first purify the mind. You first purify the consciousness. You remove the conflicts from that. Then only you can remove conflicts outside. So this is yoga and Ayurveda, Shastras, wealth accumulation, all these things. No, I do not go to even food. You go to any other, whole world diversity is food and the Karnataka diversity you take. So Karnataka surpasses the whole world in the diversity of the food. And each food item, each dish, it is now, created with lot of science, lot of knowledge and lot of art, skill. Without the proper home, without the house, without the housewife, without the woman, thinking about this variety of food is impossible. Now go to the weavers in India. The kind of designs, the weaving designs which we have created, ultimately what is the creativity? What is the, ultimately creative faculty of the human being? It is the mind which creates the designs. Designs do not come from a non-creative mind. So the designs we have, even if we record those designs, even next 100 years America works, such designs cannot be created by America. That is the level of designs we have. So you take one subject. So I am not going into details. We have rich knowledge traditions and you have in India communities which are dedicated to carry forward those knowledge traditions which no other country has got that. I give two examples. Now in the last 70 years, universities have created lot of faculties, how to construct roads, how to create the space satellite and all these things. I agree. Knowledge, now universities are accepted and carrying forward. But there are certain knowledge traditions which so far universities have not absorbed, incorporated. For example, in Andhra and Telangana, I have one knowledge tradition which we call Avadhani tradition. You tell me which university has so far accepted the Avadhani tradition? Which university is working on that Avadhani tradition? Do you think Avadhani tradition is a superstition? Unless one understands what is Avadhani tradition, one cannot. This is a knowledge tradition. Even today in Andhra and Telangana, Telugu people, maybe I don't know, in Kannada it is there. So Avadhani tradition, even to create pruchaks, the people who ask the questions, that also requires a qualification. So one man is able to listen to 1,000 questions and give in a poem form answer in a very instant way. Unless you train your mind in a concentrated way, focused way, it is impossible. So such minds are created by training. So we have knowledge traditions. For example, we have temple construction. So far no engineering college, no IIT, no IIM is talking about how to construct the temples. You have the, in civil engineering to think about the toilet construction, road construction. But you don't have any university to talk about the temple construction. Temple construction is not only spirituality or religion. Even today, temple construction is business. Temple construction is employment. How many people are getting employment in the temple construction? Can you say? So and temple construction is a shastra. So there are number of knowledge traditions in every aspect of national life in India. And there are certain communities which are dedicated. So these things have to be taken forward, and this has to be given to the whole world. World is not aware of the knowledge traditions of India. Certain things are known, but certain things are not known. So there are very important things. Now lastly, I come to very important question. There is a kind of hate campaigns. Hate campaign, now it is everywhere. But as a thought process, Hindu response can never be based on hate campaign. Because if you start hating anybody, then you do not represent Hindu. There is a saying, if you lose Hinduness, and in the process of fighting for Hindu cause, if you lose the Hindus' core values, then you do not become Hindu. You do not continue to represent Hindu. So this is a very important thing. So what are the responses which in Hindu digital world we can create? Informative responses, persuasive responses, educative responses, and all these facts-based responses, we have to ultimately discuss about what are the real challenges which we are facing for the Hindu thought. And in this aspect, definitely how to convert these onslaughts and attacks and challenges and questions, convert them into opportunities to represent much deeper Hindu thought, Hindu knowledge reservoir here which we have, so that ultimately to win for what? To create a Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, to create a peaceful global order at the global level. Vishwa Kalyan, what we call. So for this purpose, in coming days, definitely this Hindu digital summit is a very important conclave, and all these are the issues which we need to discuss, and we have to come out with answers and strategies and tools to sharpen our campaign and ultimately to achieve the targets which we all feel core of Hindu wisdom. Dhanyavad.